Happy little Saturday, superstars. Today I made a new sketch showing why every day on DEFEED mode matters. Why those little things like an extra 50 calories here, another 100, and justified refeed, one time cheat day in maybe 6 weeks time, why all that adds up and why you feel it's unfair and you get defeated, feeling that it's not working, because you forget that in order for you to get leaner, you have to be consistent, and consistent is not something you have inflation mode on. Let's just say that you put your calorie budget on 1500, and that is not a golden number. It's not the same for everyone, but remember now, you are here because you have not solved your diet problem. You have not achieved your goals, and if you have, you haven't been able to maintain your ideal self in fitness or body composition mode. That means you can debate, you can insist on being right, whatever you want, that's up to you. I'm not trying to make you force into getting leaner, but when you consult me or you hire me to be your coach, you're not hiring me to be listening to you being frustrated with something that cannot be real. It can't be real that you are frustrated with getting leaner when you are not even following the protocol. So let's just open up our minds, right? What I'm telling you is not popular. You don't want me to say that everything matters. You want it to be that refeed is warranted after 2 weeks. You feel one little extra 100 calories here and 500 extra in per week, maybe on the weekend when you go out for dinner or you feel you were so hungry. You feel those are justifiable things. But here's the thing. It's not about you and having a right or an honor or privilege to eat. It's not that you don't have the permission to indulge or spread your calories the way you want. But here you come and you have intention with your diet plan. You want to change, you want to lose fat, you want to get defined, you want to build muscle, and you want to eat healthy. So you made a choice and you want to have results from it, because if you don't get results, you have a tendency to kind of stop, right? So with a calorie budget 1500 a day for a female, you typically means you might have a chance to, over time, lose a few pounds in a month. And that tends to speed up the longer you do it. So it's more that your body environment is consistent. You keep on training. You keep on getting leaner. It's just a contest prep. The first weeks, see nothing. Then in the middle, you start noticing. And then in the last 3-4 weeks, that's when most dramatically happens. And people ask, how did you do it? Well, it was all those weeks and months up to that new pattern, the new environment. It's like enough of the year has been in winter and now it's spring. We can't just go from one day winter and then all of a sudden it's summer. There has to be evolution, the daily process. And I like to refer to a mathematical term. I'm not a math person. I just count cash and calories. But it's the critical mass, as in, if you were to look under a microscope every day on how you are expending more calories, energy, then you would be disappointed that nothing happens. But over time, that little by little by little becomes big enough for your eye to see it. You don't need a microscope anymore. But up to that point, most of you, including myself before I got better at my own adherence, you keep on shooting yourself in the foot because you get impatient and you want it to be easier to lose fat and get leaner than it is. So remember now, if you didn't have a struggle with this, you wouldn't be here listening. You would be happy lean and maintain it. It wouldn't be a problem. The calorie budget 1500 then might be that over a few weeks' times, if you have been compliant without sabotaging by a little bit extra, one refeed there, things that you kind of hope to get away with, then after 6 weeks of daily compliance, daily, now there's a reason to reward in order for yourself to keep on going. that is the first time pretty much physically that you're gonna have a reason to refeed. 6 weeks. 6 weeks, if you kind of make an average of, let's say, a pound of fat a week, and it's going to be less if you don't have that much to lose. If you're small, petite, and your total loss is going to be less big weight-wise, then you have to realizing that 500 and then like 3,500, if you are to expend 2,000 calories a day, that means 500 from your intake to all you do your whole day. Your basal metabolism, your thermic effect of food, your energy expenditure on training, and the typical formula then would be to subtract the intake with what you are expending on all that together. So when you do that calculation, it's not that much of a difference. You cannot make 3,000, 5,000 deficit a day in your regular life of working out 1 or twice a day, hard and intense. Me, a little person, I might max expand about 400 calories total of my weight training and intense cardio. That's not much. So let's say if I were on 1,500, that's what my body needs to kind of maintain a lean body. If I'm fatter than I want to be, I can have a little bit more if I have achieved my lean base I want to maintain. Remember, when you maintain, you can have refeeds more without being punished by noticing you're not getting leaner. But when it comes to the deficit, the negativity, it is the most toughest thing for you and I to stick to. So it does get easier when you get leaner and then things change, but not right now. So that means if I'm just speculating now that between my 1,500 and I'm adding 400 in expenditure, 1,900 a day. In 1 week, that would be 2,400 times 7, 2,800 calories. In 2 weeks, that would be almost 2 pounds, 5,600. In 4 weeks, 4 pounds max of pure fat, not a water thing. That can maybe be lost first week, the first days, if I'm doing what most do, and that is have one cheat day with salt and sodium carbs and all the energy calories before you're gonna go and never have it again, right? Then that's falsely elevating, so then the water loss is just water and that comes back later. That means in 1 month, it's not that much. Now imagine if I forget that every day matters, so one day I have 100 calories extra to 1,600. Not a big deal. 3 days later, it's almost Friday and I want to have a little bit more, maybe 100 calories. On the first weekend, I might be demotivated, but I stay strong. Then next week, I'm looking forward to refeed on Friday because that's what I want. And I'm just going to hang tight. But in the middle way or midweek, I might have 300 calories extra. I'm going to justify that because I feel like I'm getting leaner. I'm building muscle, so it's okay. So 1,800. Then it's Thursday, I go back to 1,500. Friday, I have the refeed. And I want to have it so it's like a kind of a big one. So typically 3,000, just a good normal refeed when you're maintaining. But this time it means I'm packing in a lot more before I have even changed the pattern for my body within 2 weeks. So remember now, in 2 weeks there's no chance that I'm gonna have lost more than maybe 1 pound of fat. Don't ask me how it works scientifically, how you can evolve like a butterfly and so on. I'm not a scientist. I just practice a life and I'm a philosopher. And I'm very blunt and I keep to the truth what I see in my body. So it doesn't matter how much I want to ponder away. Why is it not working? Because I don't work on a build muscle, burn fat mode from day-to-day basis. This is something I build pattern over time. That's a big difference. So now, let's say, if I add up all that, the few little justified extras, then another refeed. So everything looks great, as in, I would say I'm compliant, I am good, I'm keeping to the calorie budget. That's what I say. But after 6 weeks of that up and down, there might be a difference of 1,000, 2,000 calories, which is enough for not getting leaner. So how come this is something that you get so upset with me about, right? Typically it's because everyone wants the refeed or the cheat day or the treat day to be something that is just what makes the fat loss happen. That you want it to be that it's not all the days in deficit that build up that momentum. You want it to be the day of overeating, which helps you lose fat. But it makes no sense, because if that was the way to get leaner, the fatter person you are, the more you eat, the leaner you would be, right? So the little deficit here's nothing. You always want it to be that you burn more calories and you need more energy than you do. And there's so much of justification about gaining lean muscle, having a refeed instead of that's just a cheat day, that you don't want to be as focused on every day needed in order to have the results you want on time. And it's easy to fall into that moment of, I'm gonna just try. Oh, it's not gonna be a big deal. Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's just healthy. Oh, like nuts is just healthy. I can have peanut butter, a whole jar. You see? And then once you start to kind of make those new rules, it's harder to make yourself comply with the original rules. And the rules are not here for you to kind of defy or rebel against. That's up to you. But they are to help you stay on plan to get the results. So the philosophical kind of dance, you playing chess with yourself, is just a waste of your time and a lot of uncalled for frustration. So when you have my coach calls and we have the weekly evaluation, these little things are what you get upset about. You don't want it to be that unfair, unrealistic. That's a typical myth I see I want to talk about. It's unrealistic to expect perfection for 6 weeks at a time. You're right, because it's impossible, or for the long term, to be perfect when you are not setting yourself up for the meal plan that is optimal. So you are choosing to eat the way you can't stay on plan. You want it to be that it's not fair and unrealistic to have to be so perfect. The perfect is pretty much as you eat the food that is smart for you to be able to eat to satisfaction. It's, hello, you're not going to have the little protein bar here. You're not going to have the cookie. All things that are made by men that might be 20% higher calories than are listed on the wrap. The food you choose with wraps and papers do not have the same thermic effect as eating vegetables and high fiber food and high protein. So it matters. All those little things, because your body's smarter than you want to give it credit. It will make you go for those foods if you're hungry. So it matters to kind of realizing that you choose a diet plan that features the food you enjoy, that are healthy and gives you satisfaction, and eat so you're not physically hungry and starving. You just won't have it in you to win. And it would be a horrible way to live. Imagine you're going to spend a year of losing 100 pounds of pure fat and gaining muscle the same process. That means every compliance day by day. And again, it's not that I'm telling you that you can't have a refeed. You're not going to have a little bit. If you go a little bit off your plan, it's not going to work. It's just having a greater, higher level of observation over a long time, which is day by day, followed by week, a month, and see what happens. And you want it to be that it's kind of okay to half fast and half starve, half crash diet, half whole your week in order to have a cheat day. So you're willing to kind of deprive yourself in order to build up a big cheat day budget. And that kind of mentality, that mode, is never what makes you lean and gain muscle, because you can't starve away your muscles just to have one weekly feast. Do you know of anyone who got to build a well-built, strong physique by eating one-time cheat day meal, all the calories for the whole week, and then the rest of the days 400 calories a day and just protein? Doesn't matter if it's protein. It's not going to be high protein for your body, because it's going to make it into just energy, glucose. So in order to have a high protein diet, you also have to meet your calorie budget that is conducive to your goal. Another thing is this of train for your goal. That you ask me for Pilates and yoga if it's good training. It's like, yes, it is. but it's not for gaining the muscle you talk about. It's just too low intensity, even though you feel it's hard. It's great exercise, just like out walking. It builds muscle like anything else physical, but there's a more powerful way to do it. Now, you might not want to enjoy weight training or training heavy or hard or long sets, but it's important to know why are you training a certain way, not just because someone tells you. And to train for your goal. So if you want to boost your metabolism, if you want to build muscle, if you want to stimulate bone density, if you want to be able to eat more and not have all the calories packed into fat because you have muscles that are hungry, if you expend energy on training, then it would be good for you to know that it does matter that you are putting out more effort in training and kind of think strength matters. So I'm not a fan of those all or nothing thinking or dualistic way. So you gotta know how you train for that reason. But it has to have a purpose, you have to know why you're doing it. And it doesn't matter how beneficial some training is if you're not gonna enjoy doing it without an end, right? And then I want to tell you about this of the constant need for praise and feeling that a coach should just be supportive, as in giving you positive feedback only. Now here's the thing about positive feedback, that if you're gonna need to be hallelujah, awesome work all the time, no matter what you do, as in you're eating your meals you planned, oh wonderful, excellent, you are amazing, you did all the workouts this week, you completed your plan, fantastic, you are a superwoman. If you need that external push to feel that you're getting recognized for your efforts that are for you, that's extrinsic motivation. It also gives you kind of a weird kind of relationship with other people, including me, that you feel that you want to have a vertical relationship, as in if I tell you that you are fantastic job because you're eating all your meals for you that are making you healthier, then if I say good job, it sounds like I'm petting a dog. That I'm telling you like you are below me. And somehow I want to manipulate the situation, right? So I want you to be able to feel motivated to keep doing it in order to get praise from me. So as long as you comply and you show up, now you're going to be happy because you're getting a diploma. You're getting a trophy or a little, like a rosette, like a medal. Over time, that medal, that rosette, or that trophy is not going to be enough anyway. So what you're doing when you are looking for wanting praise from the world in order to be motivated, like what you do is not for yourself. You wouldn't keep doing this if it was just for yourself. If nobody knew, you would quit. That means all your reason for doing it is to be recognized, is to be everyone's idol. That you want a whole choir to sing for you to get up in the morning. And if you don't get that, you get demotivated. Unless someone sees your body and your body is perfect now, you're not going to have any interest to build your body. Now, the delicacy of this kind of mindset is that you are putting all this pressure on yourself and the exchange of what people rate you. So unless people see that your body is amazing, which you might feel, but they're not going to tell you, you feel it's not worth it. Nobody sees you anyway. Nobody gives you compliments. If you take ownership instead of thinking that, why would I want the world to play me like a marionette puppet? Why do I need so much outsiders telling me what I need to do? And why do I don't want to have the kind of right guidance where it's blunt, it's straight to the point? Like I'm telling you, this is what you gotta do for yourself. It doesn't matter how you feel this moment because you need to do it for yourself. There's nobody who can do it for you. It doesn't matter that you want me to be the bad coach who should maybe be more understanding or who should always kind of pick you up anyway because you forget that you're addicted to self-sabotaging behavior and you like to talk about that forever. How that's a pattern and you can't change because you have a closed mindset. I don't know. But it doesn't change, right? And then you get mad. You don't get anything out of that, right? And where are you now in that mindset? It's not your fault that you are struggling to stay strong with your goals. It's the coach that has wrong personality. Now, the right coach, of course, would be more, you would be more compatible. But it's important to realizing that if you want to have the praise and you feel the best thing that can happen is to get satisfaction from being told you are amazing, you are the winner, you are fantastic, you are the best, oh, you have the perfect body, all that, then imagine that day when you are not able to achieve what other people will see or perceive as perfect body. They will not have a reason to tell you you are perfect, you look like a model, because you don't. Does that change for you then, that you're going to take care and enjoy and love your body and do that for yourself? Because then you're kind of living on an expiration date that you are not going to be your best when you're older. You're going to have less energy, less capacity, more risk of getting worn out, and you have to kind of protect your tissues and be smart in your training. So instead, you should kind of think about this instead. Like, if you can appreciate what other people do for you, so a coach for me, you're appreciating that I'm there and reminding you. You are thankful that you have someone who can tell you what you need to hear, so you can remind yourself. You are appreciating that, but you're not having some kind of drill sergeant who has a higher level or is higher in standard in your little society than you are. That you are on equal terms and you have a coach because you are not being the coach for yourself. But in order for you to kind of realizing that body transformation of wanting to have a diet police, that you want to be scared of, so you show up. That's how you build a lot of self-anxiety and fear of being called in and evaluate your weekly nutrition, your weekly training. Because you don't want to be reprimanded. You don't want to be rebuked or scolded for forgetting about it and kind of hide away. It takes so much of desire to want to be open and aware of yourself. It's easier to kind of keep on justifying or lying or denying and make a story in your head about how your body is the problem, that you can't lose fat, you're stuck, you have a slow metabolism, you're too old, menopause, can't train more than 3 days a week, can't do this, can't do that. That's because you don't want to have a reason to have no excuse. You want it to be that you cannot achieve your goals because there's something in the way. And now imagine if that is what typically people say. I can't afford a VIP coach. I can't afford having a one-on-one private coach. I can't afford a gym membership. I can't afford healthy food. That is the subconscious approach to make sure you cannot commit. So you are off the hook. That since everything here is what you feel is not to be done, you can't do it without the perfect setup. Now you have a valid excuse. You have that valid excuse for yourself to kind of keep on saying it's about money, it's about time, it's about age, it's about circumstances or injuries or food allergy or you didn't sleep well or someone told you that you're not pretty. Whatever that is, you're going to use it. And what comes out of this is it's never about the money. It's never about the lack of healthy food. It's about picking out a store that works for you. That if I then come here, I've done this many times. I told people that I'll help you for free. Like if you show up, I'll do it. And I'll provide you the Keep It Super Simple meal plan that is bulletproof and idiot-proof that you can't go wrong. Guess what? Somehow, even though you have all the tools, you have everything, you're not gonna do it. So, and then typically, as another kind of level of denial that you don't want to know or admit that you have everything and it wasn't that I was too expensive or that you didn't have any way to spend your money on food and groceries that are in your budget instead of spending it on alcohol or spending it on a day out or dinner out. That's your choice. And then that's when you just don't want to do it. And that's a summary for me here. That it doesn't matter how much you want to be, making it the outside world, coaches, training, partners, children, education, country, it's not anyone else who's stopping you, or that you have less than anyone else. It's your perspective and your wanting to have a reason to let go of your dreams and goals, and that's so terrifying. Imagine that you don't really want to achieve a goal, so why are you then stressing so much about it? If you don't care enough about changing, no wonder you don't make yourself, hey, why am I doing this again? Why don't I stay strong for myself? Why do I keep on quitting? Wait, how can I win over myself? If you don't make your own day-to-day life about a fight, as in sparring with you and your laziness, if you don't make it into a strength training kind of program that you have in life every day with yourself, that you're gonna resist, you're gonna gain stronger and stronger mindset or stronger mind. If you don't see that as an opportunity to grow, I don't know who is gonna be able to do it for you. So instead of being upset with yourself, why are you doing this? Why are you quitting? Now ask yourself, how much does it actually matter to you? Because it might be that those goals you have is more like a little fantasy. Those life goals you say you have, they might just be dreams, daydreams. And that's nothing wrong with that, but you should know it. So you can let yourself off the hook once and for all, right? Thank you so much for listening and reflecting.